Lauridsen has not been able to start as often as you might have thought at the beginning of this season. It has mostly been Alan Kaler for the Huskers. The Huskers have had some woes at 125, switching between himself and Kaler, but he gets a nod today.
Sooner rather than later, Mark Manning's going to have to make a decision whether it's going to be Kael Lauridsen or Alan Kaler wrestling at Big Tens. And this feels like a warm-up match to get him kind of back in that zone, moving towards that conference tournament.
Yeah, you really assume who's going to be going at Big Tens, what are the most likely outcomes. And you look at Kael Lauridsen, he had plenty of pedigree coming into this Nebraska program. He's a Nebraska state champ, local kid, was posed to take over that 125 spot after Caleb Smith, but here he is today looking to prove himself.
36th four-time NSAA state champion for Nebraska for Bennington. Shot here from Navarro. Navarro, a tough opponent from Nampa, Idaho. Last year was 20-13, just missed out on a shout for the national tournament with a 2-3 at Big Tens.
Pretty quick shot here off the high center.
Lauridsen's going to roll through Navarro. Both got an ankle. Lauridsen's trying to get to that back. Great roll through there from Navarro. Lauridsen's going to try and come out the back. If he can just get that leg out, he'll have it. That slips down to a Sun Devil, and Kael Lauridsen will take the first takedown of the match over Dedrick Navarro. He's got a win over a ranked opponent. He took down Mac Mauger when he was number 22 of Missouri at the Heartland Hustle. Recently he went 2-1 at the Cyclone Open as he goes for some near fall points off that tilt. 3 count it will be for Kael Lauridsen as he extends his lead to 6-0.
What a great start for Lauridsen with that Sun Devil, the takedown. He gets a near fall point, putting on a clinic so far.
Now he's resetting and he's going to try and look for that bar look. Half and a bar, not the worst idea here, but they will call that as that elbow starts to creep up the back a little bit more.
Dedrick Navarro took 3rd place at the Michigan Open, where he upset number 15 Blake West last year. Recently took over that title at the National Collegiate Open at 125. So he's no stranger to good competition. Just getting off to a slow start so far today.
Yeah, you know, he wrestled at the sharp end of the stick, lost 5-4 to Oregon State's Renteria as Lauridsen drops him right back down to the mat. He got a 17-5 victory over number 19 Rourke of South Dakota State.
1 minute remaining in period number 1.
Lauridsen, one of those Husker wrestlers that really does appreciate a leg ride as he's trying to get that boot in on the outside. Obviously, he's figured for Navarro's close leg. There's the leg. It'll slip in there.
Yeah, Lauridsen just repositioning that figure 4, trying to get Navarro to shift around, maybe shoot out his wrist a little bit further to see if Lauridsen can parlay that into some more points here.
This was the start of a match that I think Mark Manning's been looking from Kael Lauridsen for the entire season. You know, he sometimes will come out timid and not really attacking, but I mean, right from the get-go, he defended Navarro's shot and got out on top.
Yeah, he just keeps shooting at Navarro, scoring his points, and he's really wrestling super aggressively, repositioning those hands, constantly bumping and chopping at Navarro's arms while he is on top of him.
Lauridsen will head into the second period, leading 6-0 over Dedrick Navarro with 2 minutes of riding time already collected for the Nebraska native. Lauridsen will start on bottom. As far as the wider national standings, obviously Lauridsen and Kaler have been splitting time. Lauridsen hasn't really gotten to make his way into the rankings. He started the year around 30, but after that loss opening day to Army, he fell out of the rankings, hasn't been back. Dedrick at 24. He's a stiff rider.
Yeah, Dedrick has been riding Lauridsen pretty well so far here, applying that tight waist and attempting some returns.
Kael will fall back to his feet after that stand-up attempt and will reset. Minute 31 left in the second period. Navarro sitting at 24. He's kind of in and around the 20 to 30 range for the entire season. You know, had some chances to move up into the teens, but tough losses to Sotelo of Michigan bump him back down in the rankings a little bit. As he continues to chip away at Kael's riding time. Granby roll through attempt there from Kael, and they'll reset again.
You're really looking at Kael to try and get those Granbys off and escape and finally get that stand up, but Navarro's riding him really well so far.
Navarro's had enough. They will pick to stand right up 7-0 Lauridsen.
Entirety of the year, you almost feel like Nebraska's been looking for a home run at 125 for a signature win. And it's mostly been Kaler going in those starts against those bigger opponents. And Kaler has just been able to keep it very close, but wasn't able to quite break through and get the win. Most of his scores ending within 3 points.
Lauridsen not able, or did not start against Penn State. Kaler went out against Luke Lillidahl, but he did get the nod against Nick Bouzakis of Ohio State. Fell by a major decision, but he did what he needed to do in that duel to limit the bonus points, where Ohio State maybe expected more. Great shot there from Navarro. He will collect his 3 with 30 seconds left in the first period. They will call the stalemate as Navarro did not advance up the body quite fast enough for the ref's liking. Nebraska in the white singlets with red on them. Northwestern sporting their purple. Switch out attempt from Lauridsen. He's going to reach back for that head. Normally you're taught not to do that, but he's not in a horrible position. Body lock from Navarro. He'll drop down to that double, and they'll reset.
You just see Navarro trying to get those returns out of his takedowns, and it's just not going against the steadier half of Lauridsen.
But through the second period, it is 7-3 Kael Lauridsen, as Navarro has a good period for himself. Got riding time down, let him up, took him down, and they'll go back to their feet. Navarro's going to need a flurry here to overturn it, but it's definitely not out of the possibility.
See some stoppage here. Maybe Lauridsen got poked in the eye.
2-minute sprint to the end. 7-3, Lauridsen leads Navarro. Shot attempt from Navarro draws the stall call. Lauridsen has one more to give before the point. You wouldn't want to see him give up another stall call if you're Mark Manning, considering a takedown would then tie it. Deep shot there from Navarro. This is a similar position to the start of the match where Lauridsen ended up on top. So Navarro's going to try and sit through. He's got that leg hooked with his. And if he can get his head on the other side. But Lauridsen's using that crotch hold to try and keep his position. There's the takedown for Navarro, so it becomes 7-6. He finally gets control. And then the stalemate is called.
You see Manning telling Lauridsen to speed things up, get into your position.
Navarro will let Lauridsen up, so 8-6, 50 seconds. Navarro's got 2 takedowns. Lauridsen has the 1, and then the 3 count near fall from his tilt earlier on. A 7-0 lead is now 8-6. Navarro's got the momentum. Lauridsen has got that underhook. They'll break. 30 seconds. Shot from Navarro. No. Refs will stop. It looks like Navarro may have hit his head there.
He immediately started blinking it out. May have been an accidental eye poke as Lauridsen jumped out from the shot. As we take some stoppage here. Really risky to go with all that momentum in the last 30 seconds.
I mean, you do want to be cautious. He fell to the ground pretty quickly there. See if there's maybe a head bump or a, yep, right to the knee with his head. They're going to check him out, make sure he's not concussed.
Yeah, and that's of no fault of either of these wrestlers. It's just you try to get a shot off. It didn't quite go. Your opponent jumped out. Not trying to intentionally knee anybody.
Not ideal timing for Navarro, considering he did have the momentum with 2 takedowns. But obviously, with Big Tens and Nationals on the horizon, both coaching staffs know that the safety of their wrestlers comes before the match result.
And that brings us to the kind of talking points that we were discussing before the match, where in these last 4 matchups here for both of these schools, you're all about momentum going into Big Tens, and that's something that Nebraska capitalized on last year.
And shall Nebraska go with Lauridsen? This is definitely a match that could determine who goes to NCAAs. You know, the sharper end, Bazakis, Lilidal, you come down a little from that echelon and you get guys like Navarro and Lauridsen who are tough, gritty wrestlers. So this could definitely be one that we see in a couple weeks' time for national qualification. But 25 seconds, Navarro cleared to wrestle. He's got to go get one. Shot there, won't go. He'll reshot, deep in, double from Navarro. Lauridsen's got 15 seconds to hold on. Navarro try and go the other way. Lauridsen scrapping through, he's still got a leg. 7 seconds, he's got to hold on here. And he'll come around, still nothing yet, still nothing yet. 3 for Kael Lauridsen as he survives Dedrick Navarro.
And what a showing for Kael Lauridsen, the kid from Nebraska.